By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. In this reading, we walk the path of the dove and serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the High Priestess. This is a card of intuition. This is a card of trust. This is a card of taking the hand, taking the guidance that's being offered to you right now, right? First position, station, right? Your sense of self, your essential personality, what your ego is occupied with right now, and that is with the intuition. I think your ego is trying to follow the light, the message, the information that's being sent to you from spirit. Okay, I think you're a very intuitive person. I think that your intuition comes through your emotions. I think you feel things deeply, and your feelings then give you that intuitive guidance that you need. You're somebody probably with a strong spiritual practice, a strong connect, not an external necessarily, right? Not like a formal religion necessarily, but a connection with that wisdom within. A spiritual practice that maybe other people don't even really know about. Is it something sacred, something private for you? Okay. You have an ability to connect with the spiritual energies of life. You probably are a bit of a medium or a channel or a psychic in some way, but I feel like it's mostly for you. And it's what you connect with inside, and with that spiritual realm or that divine essence, that energy. The moon card is light coming from the star. It's the light coming from your essential spiritual self, giving you guidance, right? What is your spirit saying to you right now? What is your guardian angel, your higher self, God, goddess, deity, spirit guides, ancestors, universal mind, universal energy? What is the message? What are you being told? How are you being guided in your life right now? Okay? This is what your ego is trying to comprehend. This is where Virgo, your attention is fixed on what this message is coming from spirit. And of course, we have to put this into a little bit of context, okay? We're going to use our dove and serpent spread. Now, Virgo, you are not here by accident. Oh, there's the magician. You were meant to find this reading, okay? I think that really this found you. And you need to trust that it is time, Wheel of Fortune, Prince of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the Hierophant. Wow, very nice. Two very strong Taurus references for you. I would watch the Taurus reading. It could be that there's some kind of heavy Taurus thing going on with you. Maybe you have a strong Taurus placement in your chart. Maybe there is a Taurus person that is very close to you right now, or something along those lines, okay? The major arcana here are stunning. Look how beautiful they look, right? Over here we have the Queen of Cups. We have a Prince of Wands, we have a 7 of Wands, and we have a 2 of Wands. Very fiery energy today. Wow. You are really getting fired up, right? Things will never be the same for you. With this fiery energy shows that you're taking control, you're taking action, you're stepping into your power, you're saying, I am the magician, and I am claiming my blessings. I am claiming my future. I'm getting the money, whatever this is, right? Whatever your goals are in life, we're really taking charge here. Yeah. I think we're being guided into our magicianhood, if you will. We'll talk about it. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite, and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with our little octopus friend, the 8 of Pentacles, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, right? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay. Now, as we look around the room here, we see major arcana. Nice cluster of major cards. We see fire, 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 fire. A little bit of water, a little bit of earth. Okay, a little bit of water, a little bit of earth. There is some almost nostalgic connection with the past here, and maybe a Taurus energy. Maybe there's a Taurus person in your past, but there is some kind of a builder energy that you've had. Something, maybe something you were building before, or something that you began building. But the Queen is kind of talking about how we're ending something else, or how we have ended something. Okay, because there's still a lot of emotional processing being done, and that could be what our High Priestess is sort of guiding you through, is some sort of an emotional processing, a catharsis, an emotional release, or a recapitulation, or an understanding of the past in order to claim our magicianship and to create this really wonderful future. Okay. I think that because there's the double Taurus reference, that there was something back here that you tried to do, it didn't work. Okay, but I think because of divine timing, now it is going to work. Okay, whether this is the exact same thing or if it's a higher version, a different version of the thing, you know, if it's a relationship, if it's a project, if it's a career, if it, whatever it is, I think that the timing was off before. Now the timing is right. Okay, I think you're somebody that believes in that. You trust in divine timing. Yeah. And well, the divine timing kind of says like, now's the time, you know. But let's think of now, let's look at card number 2, which is the battle, right? This is where your quest is right now. This is the conflict, maybe. This is the event that is testing your strength. There's something going on now that is requiring that you do everything you can to influence the situation. You have to remember that you're the magician here. So it is, we're sort of relying on this wheel of fortune to turn. And as it turns, it reveals opportunities. And when that opportunity appears, that door opens, you've got to take the initiative and go through the door. The magician is the one that knows, I'm not omnipotent, I'm not omniscient, right? But I can do something. I have a certain, I have a certain bag of tricks. I have a toolbox. I have a toolkit. I've got certain skills and abilities and talents that I can employ to make the very best of this thing, this opportunity, this time in my life, you know. So you're being called upon right now to apply everything that you have. Muster up all of your forces. Use every tool at your disposal. Right? Use your magic to make this thing happen now. I think that there's some financial thing going on here. I think this is a way to make money. Okay. I think that you're being guided into developing some kind of a business or some kind of a, some kind of a career. Maybe it's a side hustle that's kind of going to become your main hustle. You're being guided by Spirit right now into your powers. Like Spirit has led you to the mirror and is showing you and saying, look, Virgo, you're the magician. You can do this. Okay? I feel like there's something that's kind of, there's some kind of a hidden blessing thing going on. I almost wonder if the thing that the thing that has ended, right? The thing that we were trying to build, but the timing wasn't right, it didn't work out. I feel like you're understanding how that was a blessing, because now the doorway has appeared for you to really take the bigger prize, so to speak, right? And so it kind of feels like we're going to be very thankful that we're not still doing the old thing, because it would have prevented us from taking advantage of this big thing. I'm so glad I didn't settle for that. It's like, I'm so glad that didn't work out, because if that worked out, I wouldn't have had this. I wouldn't be receiving, the thing that's bigger, better, faster, stronger, whatever it is, right? And so we're kind of looking at the divine timing of things. We're thinking of like, wow, Spirit works in mysterious ways, you know. But the magician is kind of where we have to fight, where we need to grow and transform. There are skills that you have to learn. There are conversations you need to have. There is some kind of a technical thing that you have to understand. The magician is kind of talking about our persona. You know, what is the mask? What is the costume? What is the uniform we have to put on right now? You know how we kind of say, I got to put on my thinking cap, right? I got to put on my my tool belt, right? Or you know, whatever it is for you. It's kind of like this is the role that you have to sort of step into, and it's kind of like you know, it's you know, the role of the student, or the role of the apprentice, or even maybe the role of the master. You know, the magician is the pure conduit for the spiritual light. So when we take these two cards in context, it really is saying that there's some sort of spiritual force that's flowing through you, and really demanding that you channel it out to the real world. The magician takes the divine light, transmits it to the physical plane. That's the role of the magician. The magician is the messenger, the conduit. Okay? So there's a lot of meanings here, a lot of depth here. First of all, there is this message coming from Spirit that you need to transmit the light out to the world, and you know, it's like there's something inside of you that wants to manifest into the world through you. Going through the magician. The magician is just the conductor, right? The conductor of the orchestra, but the conductor of that electrical spiritual current of creation. Okay? There's some sort of purpose, there's some sort of destiny here that you're being asked or called upon or guided to manifest into the world. Okay. And I think that there is a message that is kind of meant for you in all of this. Yeah. I'm feeling like there's been a lot of emotion. Like you've sort of been a very emotional person lately. But that's kind of a call to action. It's almost Spirit's way of saying, be thankful that things happen the way they did, because now you have the opportunity to really succeed and really level up and really step into this magician energy and be whatever it is that you need to be right now in order to get your goal, to succeed, or to get the thing, to build the life or whatever it is you're trying to do. In a way, the magician is the messenger. The high priestess is the message itself. Okay? So this is that starlight that is being brought to you. And I think this combination of cards also is, there is going to be a person, I feel it's a person in your life, maybe a Taurus person that's going to enter your life and is going to have a profound message for you. Okay? Because that spiritual energy, the message itself needs to come through some sort of a medium, some sort of a conduit. It needs to be brought to your awareness somehow. So in a way, these two cards are showing the way that you receive your information from the divine. And I think it's primarily through feelings. You'll get a gut feeling about something. You'll have an emotion or a feeling in your body even about something. That's the intuition for you. But I feel like this is also opening you up to other means of communication. There's something on the other side, so to speak, trying to communicate with you. And we need to be open to how that message is coming through. Do you hear it in the song of the birds outside your window? You know, do you hear it in the Morse code of the car horns in traffic? You know, how does it manifest? I think we have to look toward the world around us for confirmations. Okay, and be open to this idea that sometimes Spirit brings us our blessings and our communication, brings us our messages through the hands of other people. Okay, so we have to be, I think right now, open to all of life, open to any interaction that is coming. I think every event in your life right now is a direct dealing of spirit with you. Okay? And I think we need to be very careful with that, and we need to stay balanced. Okay? And we need to try to be discerning, and we need to try to be, we need to find a way to sort of confirm or authenticate those messages coming in. Okay, otherwise, you know, we're seeing patterns in the street lights and in the bird song everywhere we go, right? And we need to be very careful and very thoughtful that we are interpreting the messages correctly. Okay, I think write things down. I think you know, consult with others, deliberate and really think on it. You know. But let's keep going in our spread here. We have the Wheel of Fortune underneath. And this, to me, like as the third position, the soul position, this is something deep inside of you. This is what you really, really want, right? And this is growth. This is, I want to go from being, you know, an amateur to a professional. I want to go from small potatoes to world's biggest potato, you know? I want my life to expand. I want things to get better. I want the luck. I want the prosperity. I want all the marbles, you know. I want all the opportunities. I don't want to miss out on anything that life has to offer for me. So this is a card of profit, prosperity, you know, climbing the corporate ladder. This is the big promotion. This is the big skyrocketing to stardom, kind of leveling up. This is a card that says every aspect of your life is going to grow and expand. If you're a business owner, this is like you're hitting it big time. Okay? This is if you have a little Etsy shop, it's going to turn into a franchise, you know. If you got a side hustle, it's going to become the main hustle, you know. It really is that kind of growth and leveling up. And I think that as in this soul position, you know that you're meant for great things. And you may have been feeling lately like you've been at the bottom of this wheel, you know, between the rubber and the road. All that is changing now. You're going to find a lot more signs and symbols and synchronicities. Pay attention. A lot more green lights. A lot more doors will open where there were never doors before. Okay? Spirit is going to put the right people, places, and things on your path where and when you need them. We have to pay attention. We have to be open to receiving that message and knowing what to do with those things. That's the part of the magician that we really need to talk about. Anybody can be given a basket of ingredients, but only a real chef is going to know how to turn that into an award-winning Michelin star dish. Okay, you ever watch that show, Chopped? Love that show. I love food shows. Any food show, I'll watch it. You know, the contestants on the show, they're being given a basket of these really weird ingredients that don't usually go together. And they're being told, you got 20 minutes, make me a masterpiece of a dish, right, for the judges and whatever. And so they have 20 minutes, they're running around, I don't know what I'm going to do, and somehow they make something that looks and probably tastes really good. Not everyone can do that, you see. So Spirit will send us things, people, objects, opportunities, doorways, green lights. If we don't know what to do with it, it goes unnoticed. Or even if we notice it, we say, okay, here is an object, you know. What do I do with it? How do I employ this? The magician knows. The magician knows how to use everything. The magician is like the star of that show, Chopped. The magician is the one that can be kind of dropped in any location and can say, okay, this is what I've got to work with. It's kind of a MacGyver energy. All I know is what I've got right here in front of me. This is what's going to make it work. I can build an airplane to fly us off this desert island. All I need is, you know, a toothpick, some bubble gum, and an old tin can, right? And so when we are traveling through life, we have to understand that things that are being brought into our awareness, and if we can expand our awareness, then more things are brought into it, right? If we widen the aperture, more things are going to come in. and we can see more. Our eyes will pick up more light, like a camera lens or something. And that's the high priestess. The high priestess is the widening of the psychic aperture, the waxing, or the sort of flowing of the moon, right? It's that opening of the third eye, taking in more of that spiritual light. And the magician then has to figure out what to do with it. I've collected a lot of materials with my high priestess, and the magician is saying, I know what I can build. I know how to use these things. So we get the signs, the symbols, the synchronicities, the people, places, and things put on your path, the resources, and we know how to employ them. Okay? So anyway, then the Wheel of Fortune is this divine timing. It's kind of like saying, not only do we know how to employ them, but I know when. I know when to employ them, right? I think you're really finding a lot of hidden blessings in the world, and you're going to employ them toward a masterpiece, a mastery over your life right now. And I think the money's going to come in. I really do. Yeah. The dwarf event, position 4, is it's kind of something that needs to be released. This is something that we need to say, okay, you know what? I'm actually happy that this happened the way it did. And this is the Prince of Pentacles. It's a minor Taurus card. Okay, it's the Taurus energy in action. It's kind of saying we were trying to build something. And I think that this was the previous iteration of something, a relationship, a romance, a family, a business, an Etsy shop, a YouTube channel, whatever it was. You tried to do it, didn't work. And this is kind of an old wound, right? This is something that still sucks. And I can see that because of your emotional energy over here and your general energy. And so identify what this event was, what this attempt to build something. It's kind of like you're building a house, but then something didn't really work out. You lost the permit, or you just it just became a little bit unwieldy, or it became too complex and we sort of stopped doing it. Okay? I think that Spirit wants you to recognize this as a good first run, as a good practice, as a good learning experience, and see that it was a blessing that this did not work out, because now you have this increase of knowledge and skill, and now it's like kind of this was practice. Now you're ready, okay? And in the future, you're moving into this really archetypal Taurus energy. This is big time. This is spiritual level. And so to me, it feels like we're going from small potatoes to, again, world's largest potato. And it's going to work. Not only is it going to work this time, it's going to work so much better than you could have ever dreamed of it working, okay? But this is that event. This is that, that situation that the attempt, right? We attempted to build something and, it didn't work out for whatever reason. And I think we want to look at this in the right way by knowing that it was useful and important, but letting it go as well, okay? Now, the next position is position 5, the Giant. Reveals your driving force, your motivation, that creative impulse, right? A personal virtue, and this is your vision. Essentially, this is that vision. This is what you want to accomplish. This is like your idea. This is the inspiration. This is that big YouTube channel idea that you have, or whatever it is, right? This is kind of this is, to me, telling a lot about you. You're tenacious. You are hardworking. You're persevering, right? You will endure till the end here. You're not giving up on this virtue. You're not giving up on this creative impulse, or this idea, this inspiration, this spark of light. This is the vision. Literally, the fire, the wands represent the organ of sight, the power of sight, as a sensory kind of things. This is vision, literally vision, right? So you can see this inside of you. This is something that is, it doesn't matter how many times we try to create it. This vision is everlasting. This is like, this is the Platonic ideal in a way. This is what we are trying to create. And what we're trying to do is take this fire and manifest it on earth. Fire to earth. It's that spiritual electrical circuit of creation, right? And that's what we're trying to take this fire down from heaven, and we're trying to bring it to the level of earth. Well, you tried that, fire and earth. the magician trying to conduct that. It didn't work. Sometimes the magician has to learn through a couple of iterations of something. No magician in the history of magic ever had great success their very first operation. It's trial and error. You know, the alchemist in the lab mixing all of these energies together, they don't always work. And so sometimes we have to learn from those failures, if we want to call it that, you know, the little f failures. We have to learn from those and say, okay, what did I do wrong? What do I need to do next time? You see. But this vision is always the same. This is your intention. This is your aim. And this is not affected by the failures. Okay? How we might translate this or conduct this to the earth might change. Right? But this is the eternal and the infinite and eternal idea, the inspiration, the vision, the spark of creative power for you. And so again, this is untouched. This is not corrupted at all by what happens down here on earth. Okay? You still have this idea. It doesn't matter how many times you fail at it. This fire is still burning brightly inside of you. Okay? And so this could be ambition. This is our, you know, this is what we kind of the in a way, just that the seed of that that creative idea. Okay. And we're looking in the future position, the very next steps for you, well, are to do it again. And to do it again and again and again if you have to. Each time we do it is a level up. Each time we do it is growth, right? So it's kind of like you're not going to just put out one YouTube video and say, I hope this is the one that goes viral or whatever, really takes off, you know. You're saying, I'm going to do it as many times as I can. Persistence is the key. So position 6 is the imago. This is the very next step for you. And this is what you have to align yourself with right now. And this is the Hierophant. This is kind of, in a way, believing that you have what it takes, that this giant, this titan of industry or whatever is inside of you. And we're moving in that direction. Okay? It's not likely to be an overnight success, but we don't want that anyway, right? We want continued success. We want success that will last. We want longevity. We want to keep growing and growing and growing in the right way to where we can't be knocked down. Okay? We want to be solid. We don't just want to be, made out of paper mache, right? We want to be like solid marble or whatever, right? And so the next steps for you, I think, are to realize what we've learned from the past and how we can do things better this time. And I really do think that Spirit is giving you a lot of resources right now. I think this is going to be, again, world's biggest potato. You know, I think that we're really entering the big time here. I think this is the iteration. And maybe the builder energy here, maybe the Prince of Pentacles is saying that we've already been through several versions. This is the version that's going to take you to that really high next level. Okay, biggest potato. Doesn't mean there's nowhere to go from there, but this is going to be so much bigger than how it was in the past. It's going to dwarf this iteration. Okay, it's going to be like night and day. This is going to be a little tiny thing because you're going to be so high up on the mountain that you can barely even see this anymore. This is going to look like a little miniature potato. Okay, one of those little tiny potatoes. And so this is mastery. It's professional. It's a stubbornness, really. If we're kind of talking about what qualities you need to embody, what are the next steps for you to take a big step? Take a big step next. Okay, put your money where your mouth is a little bit. Yeah, walk your talk. And believe that everything you have is within you. It's kind of like between this and the magician. It's like if I don't have what I need, I'm going to create what I need. If I can't create what I need, I'm going to acquire what I need. If I can't acquire what I need, I don't need it. You know, it's that kind of energy. I think this is really going to be good. And I'm feeling a very strong financial thing here for you. Let's look at the path of the serpent. As we talk about these cards, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. These readings are totally free. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. Your persona, position 7, the public mask that you wear, kind of how we're projecting or presenting ourselves right now, and it's the Queen of Cups. The queens are always looking at the past. The queens are always slowly peeling the Band-Aid off, right? Slowly. It hurts for a long time, right? So the queens are always kind of talking about how we deal with endings, okay? Because it's a mutable energy, right? Queens are the mutable aspect of the zodiac signs. And so the Queen of Cups is how we're ending, how we're dealing and processing with the emotions surrounding something ending. And I think that we're taking it hard. We're taking it very personally. We're kind of, we're existing inside of ourselves. I always use the example with the queens of, it's a group of people leaving a movie theater. All the queens, right, leaving the movie. They just saw a great blockbuster movie, something, I don't know what, something. Some good thing. They saw the Minecraft movie or something, right? Really emotional. And really moving. And the Queen of Cups is, for days after the movie, is still feeling the movie. All of the ways that that movie has made me feel now. I feel like I've been changed into a different person. It's the feelings are so deep there. They really have that sensitivity. They really feel something for a long time. It takes them a long time to sort of forget about the movie and just get back to doing other things or to see the next movie, right? Whereas the Queen of Wands, on the other hand, leaves the movie theater saying, wow, that was fun. What do you want to do now? I want to go have lunch. I want to go have ice cream. I want to go see another movie. Like, what are we going to do? It just gets very excited, you know, that something has ended and just kind of is just existing in that excited energy, right? The Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, they're doing their own thing as they leave the movie theater. Maybe thinking of, you know, practical things. Maybe the Queen of Swords is trying to understand the complexity, right? Trying to understand the plot lines and the twists and the turns and things, trying to solve the puzzle, maybe trying to apply the lessons to their own life, you know. Where the Queen of Pentacles is probably just saying, I'm hungry now, I should probably go get some food, or hey, it's getting late, you know, kind of thinking in more practical terms. But the Queen of Cups is dealing with those emotions for a long time afterward, okay, and does feel strongly affected by the circumstances. So looking at the past, obviously, is us kind of looking back here, and it feels like we're still very much connected and attached to what was going on here. And it's taking us a long time to let this fade away. Okay. And the emotions, like slowly pulling the Band-Aid off. Now the Band-Aid's gone. And now this thing can heal and it's fine and we're ready to move on to what's next. And so this is something that we don't want to linger too long here. We have to maybe even lift the veil and look at ourselves and say, why am I so emotional about this? Why is it taking me so long to get over this? Not that it's right or wrong, but we want to eventually get over it because we got more work to do, you know. So don't let yourself be too delayed by this. We're still in our feelings over it. Okay. Sometimes it's okay to just say, yeah, you know what, it sucks. I feel terrible about it. I'm upset about it. I feel all broken up over it, but I know I got to put it behind me. The longer we linger in the depth of feelings here, the more it's going to delay us taking this necessary action and all this fire energy that's coming here, right? The tarot is trying to teach you how to be a magician. We are all magicians. Actually, not even teaching you, reminding you that you're the magician. We are all the magician of the tarot. And what the tarot cards do, what Spirit does, what the universe does, is try to remind us that we're the magician and then teach us how to do it better. We're the magician anyway. Our thoughts, words, and deeds are influencing our personality and our personal reality in every moment, even if we're not aware of it. Better to be aware of it and learn how to do it well than to do it ignorantly. Okay? And so all of the all of the major arcana energies show us the major qualities that the fool needs to remember so that they can be the best magician. Well, we got to have intuition, right? We got to learn how to receive wisdom and knowledge from external events. We've got to learn to trust in the timing, to rely on the timing of the universe, and to sort of strike while the iron's hot, to take advantage of things and to broaden our awareness, to open the psychic aperture, to bring in more resources and how to employ those resources, etc. The small cards are the events in life that help us to remember these kinds of qualities, you see? So this was the iterations of the business or of the relationship or of the project that several times we've tried to realize the vision, okay? And these things have taught us a great deal. And now with the Queen of Cups, our emotions are teaching us a great deal too. This is the emotional relationship that we have with this event, or if this is a person, if this is a relationship, whatever it is for you, right? This is us, employing our introspection and sort of what can I learn from my emotions? Why am I so torn up over this? Why am I so, broken up over? Why is it taking me so long to get over this? Okay, and that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's a very good thing. Maybe it's saying, yeah, you don't get over things quickly when they really affect you. Like, I think the Queen of Cups is one of the most sensitive and profound and deepest of the cards. The Queen of Wands is saying, it's a great movie, what's next? But the Queen of Cups is saying, that movie is staying with me for a long time, so it's a much richer experience, you see. And I think that sometimes this is the very right thing to be, is this Queen of Cups, and to sit in this feeling, to really sink into the emotions and understand how we feel and how did that movie move me. How did the situation affect me, and go to the very depths of that. Sometimes it's time to swim out of that and say, let's get going. Let's get going. And so, this is good, but don't linger too long. Yeah. Because the next card is in the position of the environment, and this is really taking action. It says it's time to get going. And these two positions in the Dove and Serpent spread are very intimately connected, as are these two, okay? But these two here, the divine timing, this is literally like Spirit's wristwatch, okay? This is the cosmic timepiece. I'm not wearing my watch today. We're relying on spiritual time. That's why I have no idea how long these readings are anymore. The Prince of Wands is seeing the doorway open and rushing into it, striking while the iron is hot. It's kind of like you're trying to time your jump. It's like playing a video game, or you're trying to go through one of those revolving doors. You're trying to time your jump with when the opening sort of appears, when the doorway opens. That's when you want to jump. You want to kind of rush through. It's like one of those revolving doors at the airport or something, right? You kind of have to you have to time it just right. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck in there, or you're gonna hit the door. You're not gonna make it. Your bag, your foot's gonna get stuck as the door closes or something, right? Kind of have to time it just right. And that's kind of the divine timing here, that we see the opportunity opening and we say, no time for sitting around feeling sorry about it. I got to take action. I've got to go. I've got to leap into this now. This is the right time. Okay? And that's why we have to really pay attention to the signs and symbols, because Spirit's going to be showing you when it's time. You might see a certain pattern of numbers. You might see certain weird Morse code flashing lights, or like bird song, or like car horns or something that say, go now. What are you waiting for? It's kind of like you're driving down the road and you see billboard after billboard after billboard, right? And it's like the first billboard says, hey, you. Yeah, you. Virgo. What are you waiting for? And it's like, obviously the billboards are talking to you, Is that sort of thing. And that's a silly example, I know, but it sort of illustrates the point. And this is now that card that is ready to take action. This is the energy that you have. And this is the card in the environment, right? So this is saying that, look, we have to eventually get outside of ourselves and go try again. Fire to earth, fire to earth, fire to earth. We see the timing is right. The opportunity comes back around again. We're going to take another shot. Yeah. And so this becomes our our activity out here in the world. Yeah. The next card that we have is the fear, worry, and concern, position 9, the specter, right? And well, that's back to this. The position 8 is kind of a shadow position. Sometimes there are events or relationships that happen in our environment that make us feel a little bit anxious. So here's kind of another caution. It's an attempt to balance the reading out, I think, because here it's saying, yeah, we want to feel how we feel. We want to process those emotions. We don't want to rush through the process, but we don't want to lag either. We don't want to stay behind when we miss the opportunity. We also don't want to rush forward so fast that we end up smashing our face on the revolving door. We've got to time it just right. We don't want to be too eager. We don't want to be too quick to jump into something. We want to make sure that we time it appropriately. Okay, so I think that there's something happening in your world that is trying to rush you, but you're saying, no, I'm not going to rush. I'm going to do things in the right time. Anyway, that message came through as we don't want to rush, and neither do we want to lag. Okay, but the fear, the worry, the concern is that really you're biting off more than you can chew. The 7 of Wands here in the specter position. This is something that is really challenging you to step up and grow. This is something that is way bigger than you, way more powerful than you. It's kind of like, what are the odds of you getting the world's biggest potato or growing the world's largest pumpkin or something, right? Probably pretty astronomical, but you can improve those odds through being the magician. Me right now probably have really like a gazillion to 1 odds of growing the world's biggest pumpkin, right? Because 1, I'm not growing pumpkins. That's kind of the biggest thing. I don't have any pumpkin seeds planted in the ground that are growing. So probably very unlikely I'll grow the biggest. What if I didn't have any pumpkin seeds? What if I didn't have any dirt? What if I didn't have any water or soil? What if I had no idea how to grow anything? What if I didn't know what a pumpkin was? Really minuscule odds that I can ever accomplish it, right? How do we improve our odds? What are things that we can do? Well, I can get some pumpkin seeds. I can Google what pumpkins are. I can get some pumpkin seeds. I can have some idea of how to do it. I can try to practice it. I can develop some skills. I can start growing other things, and then my odds drastically improve. Then it becomes not so much a David and Goliath thing where it's just like one lucky shot's going to make it. No, this isn't going to be luck. This is going to be a combination of divine timing and skill. It's going to be magic. Okay, it's not just luck. It's not just, well, I'm going to just throw some seeds on the ground and cross my fingers that I get the world's biggest pumpkin. Or potato or whatever, name your favorite kind of gourd or root vegetable. I like both pumpkins and potatoes. It's not going to be luck. It's not just going to be random chance that I happened to throw something in the right direction and it worked. Oh my gosh. It may not happen that way, What we can do to increase the likelihood that something will succeed is we can do the right things. Things that obviously Spirit's trying to tell you, here are some things you should do to get better at what you're doing, to make sure that your will be done. Yeah. So we can improve our odds. We can learn the new skills. We can network. We can open up the psychic aperture. We can be open to meeting new people and looking for signs and collecting resources. We don't know if something's going to be useful to us. So we don't want to deny everything until we really kind of, look at it and say, is this going to be useful to me? Well, I don't know. Let me put it in my inventory. Okay? And the further along we get, the more we know, the more wisdom we acquire, the more we'll know, like, whether all these things I collected are going to be of any use to me or not. Right now, like, let's say at the beginning of something, you want to collect everything you can because you just don't know what's going to be useful. I don't know why I need this paperclip. I don't know why I need this, Lotteria card, but it's here, and so I'm going to keep it in case I need it at some point. The further along we get, we start to say, okay, I don't need this. I don't need that anymore. I know I have that kind of confirmation. I don't need that. I don't need that. There's certain things we don't have to employ. So we can sort of lighten our load a little bit. And that comes with experience, comes with the increase of wisdom, comes an increase in discernment. And then it's kind of like saying at the end of the day, all I have is my magic wand. That's all I need. I don't need any other tool except for this. It's like a good chef only needs one knife. You know, you see these chefs that they just roll out this big knife roll and they've got 1,000 knives, a specialty knife for every job. Yeah, that's cool. But the real master just needs one almost like dull, rusty knife, and that's it. That's all I need to make my masterpiece Michelin star dish, you know. Maybe not the rusty part, I don't know. But you get the idea, right? It's not blind luck. It is doing what we can to improve the odds, okay? Relying on the divine timing, taking advantage of divine timing. Spirit's going to put a lot of things in our path, but it's up to us to take advantage of those and to know how to employ those things, those opportunities, how to collect the information or the wisdom through other people and things we encounter, other events, and especially failures, things that we feel very emotionally averse to, you know, like this thing. You feel very emotional over this, but at least you're taking the time to feel it and understand what it meant for you. You're not just saying, oh well, and moving on. You're learning from this. Because the failures, those failed attempts, those past iterations, most people don't really want to feel that anymore. So we try to move on as quickly as we can because it's painful. But for you have the ability to sit with it and to feel it. And that says you're absorbing more wisdom from that thing. Okay? We don't want to sit with it too long, but we don't want to rush past it either. Now, your final card is position 10, the Destiny card, the Two of Wands, right? It shows the outcome of your journey, the culmination of your quest. And this is the magician doing their will. Okay? This is you kind of as master of your domain. And this tells me that you're reaching a level of proficiency that is stellar. Okay? It seems like you're a force to be reckoned with. It feels like nobody really can do this better than you, in a way. Okay? This is somebody that kind of has all the power. This is somebody who has gotten to the top of their game. You know, somebody in a very powerful position, okay? And so what it tells me is that you're dominating your field, your industry, whatever this is, through your magic, willpower, you are creating your vision. You're taking your vision and you are manifesting it. This is kind of the, in a way, this is the choice of direction, that you've committed to your vision so adamantly that it is pretty much guaranteed. You're overcoming the odds, right? Through, a little bit of luck and divine timing, but through skill and through power, magical power. You're overcoming these odds. So I think whatever you're doing is going to reach a level of achievement that you never really thought possible. Maybe you did. But maybe you didn't think it was possible, but like you knew it was possible at the same time. Maybe you felt that it was. You know, this is you're dominating the field. Okay. Now let's look at the mystery card. This is position 11, the guide. Let's look at this mystery together. And this reveals what Spirit is trying to tell you. It's your higher self. It's the wisdom coming from within. It's usually showing us a character quality that we have to develop in order to walk the path ahead. Yeah. Well, what do we think it's going to be? Maybe it'll be another magician. Maybe it will be, I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of air energy here. But we have that high priestess. That's the intuition. We don't need the air energy. But maybe we need a little bit of air because that will allow our conscious mind to connect with other people and and identify the patterns and the signs and the symbols. So we need a card of awareness. We need a card maybe of us interacting with the external world. Maybe we need the world card. Maybe we need a 6 of swords. Or a 4 of swords, or 5 of swords, 7 of swords, doesn't matter. Maybe it'll be some air energy. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Oh, the tower. Look at that tower. Look at that beautiful tower card. This is the overnight change. right? Well, we know that the overnight change doesn't happen overnight. We see that now. I feel like this is kind of like, this is the lead up to a tower event. And the tower event is the skyrocket. The tower event is the overnight change. It is the sudden burst to a new level. It's when we finally break through the ceiling. It's like we're here at the door and we've been chiseling away at the door for hours or days, years. When the door finally opens, it opens quickly. Okay, and so what we usually want is just the door to open and we go through the door and we achieve the success. But what we don't usually consider is how many years we've spent on the other side of the door banging on it, kicking it, chiseling away at it, picking the lock, whatever we got to do. The door swings open, it happens quickly, right? And so that's a tower event. It's, usually long, slow kind of, effort. And then suddenly, bang, the moment of novelty, the moment we've been waiting for. The major skyrocket, the major blast off, right? The moment that you've been waiting for is arriving now. And we need to remember that that the door will swing open, and when it does, it's going to swing open fast. And this is going to happen very, very quickly. We have to keep persisting and stay on this door and keep hammering away at it. And it's going to happen. Okay? So to me, this is a reassurance. To me, this is a confirmation from Spirit. That's saying we need to keep doing all of this stuff. And that door, when it swings open, get ready. It's going to swing fast. And you're going to be thrust into a truly amazing future, right to the top of the wheel here. Yeah, that feels extraordinary. The tower is that sort of, it's something that shakes us to our foundation, right? It's really that abrupt change. And we, like I said, we know that it doesn't happen so abruptly, but that moment happens. When that moment, it's like when the door opens, it swings open fast. But it's all the effort that has taken place before that is opening. It's kind of like someone's been working on this thing for years and years and years. Somebody else comes along and just touches it once and it works. And they think, I did it. All I had to do was touch it and it worked. That touch might have been the final movement, but that's just the culmination of all the movements that came before it, right? And so we don't want to put too much reliance on just that final act. The final time you touch the door and it bursts open, it was really a result of all the thousands of touches that came before. All right. Anyway, please let this message find your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation, alternating between who you're becoming and the world you are creating. Remember that the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the patterns of possibilities. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your soul path in any way, please share your reflections down below. Together we journey onward, ever upward, and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram, we'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner, there is a link down below. New readings for Virgo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.